I can reveal that. It's a very controversial person.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with Gay Star News today. And as I was just saying, I'm really, really sorry that it's so soon since we first spoke. Obviously, you filmed the show a while ago, but it's fresh now that the episode aired last night. How are you actually feeling?
I'm feeling good. Like waking up to such support and love. It's amazing. So I know that I'm not going to be a forgotten queen or one that's going to blend into the background. So it's nice to see that.
What I thought, I watched the episode this morning actually, not last night because I'm a bad gay. What I thought, can't help myself. What I thought was really, really nice is everyone seemed to be really, really actually upset that you were leaving, even though it's a competition. It didn't seem anyone was kind of, I don't know, relishing in it or whatever. How did their response make you feel at the time?
It was really heartwarming because obviously making a decision to leave something that you've worked so hard for, it's devastating, but then to see that your sisters are genuinely devastated to see you go, um yeah, it was just nice that I to see that they were, competition aside, that they were really heartbroken for me.
You do have something in common now, though, with a certain season three queen. You've got like a little bit of lore, which I'm sure you're aware of from your face. You and Victoria Scone do now have knee injury in common that sent you home. But Victoria did actually end up going on Canada versus the World and made top four and did really, really well. Is that something you would be open to doing in the future, sort of returning to the franchise in some form?
Oh, look, absolutely. So we just have to keep eyes peeled because you never know what's going to come up.
100%. And something that I always love about Drag Race, which I think the BBC does such a good job at doing in the edit, is they have these really serious conversations, but through the lens of all of you and lived experience. And I thought something that was really nice in the first episode was you and Zahira spoke a lot about Asian representation and authentically what that actually looks like, and a lot of the issues that still exist with the way people approach queens and treat them as well. Can you talk a little bit to how that was to watch that and the significance really of having something like that air on BBC?
It was really, really, really nice. It's just so nice to see two Asian queens, Asian excellence in that workroom, to share experience and to even like, so that people can relate, like Asian, so that Asian queens can relate to us and go, okay, we're not alone in this feeling. And now what are we going to do about it? So obviously from here we can start working to making more seats for the table for us to join.
And what would you actually like to see from film and TV in terms of improving representation? Because I think film and TV is always a really good place to start because it's really in all
Yeah.
of our homes and we all watch it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we could start to see it happening now anyway. So, like, you have Drag Race Philippines, Thailand's coming back. You have all of the Asian queens coming in on any other franchise. But then, even you're looking like in movies and television, you're seeing a lot more Asian representation. So, it's like it's the year of the Asian, really. So, it's just nice. It really is nice. It's happening. So, it's good.
Let's go back to episode one.
Mhm.
Walk into the workroom for the first time. What was your kind of perception of the cast and how did you kind of feel you squared up against them in terms of the grand scheme of the competition on that first day?
But when I walked in, and then got to turn around to look at all the other queens to see my competition, I kind of just went, "Oh God, okay, here we go." Like I just went. The girls that were there already in the room, I'm like, "Oh, strong, 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 strong cast already." Um, and as you can see, it is a strong cast. So, which is good because I want a level playing field and game on.
Do you remember who you were maybe most sort of like, okay, that one's really going to be a tough one for me to beat?
Yes. I kind of looked at Kyron and went, okay, yeah. We kind of like the in ways we're similar. So we're both very pretty and we're goofballs. Like we just like being goofy. So yeah, I saw some competition in her.
Speaking of Goofy, let's talk about your
Yes.
talent show. I thought your talent show was so funny, and I felt like it. there's been however many talent shows in the franchise now, and it's really, really hard to do something different and unique and new.
Yeah,
And I think you actually managed to do that because we haven't seen someone kind of actually do a really fun performance, but also
yeah,
incorporate silliness. And I think what you delivered is really, how do I word this? In line with like the London drag scene in particularly like that's the kind of show that I think you would see here, and that was really nice to
yeah,
see represented on the show. What made
yeah.
you decide to do that, and were there any other ideas you had that you were like, no, I've got to do this routine?
No, that was the only idea I had in my head because um I have such a love for like the showgirl aesthetic and burlesque. I love, love, love burlesque. But then I also wanted to bring some stupid into it. And that I was like, okay, let's think of some gags that we can make this happen. So I was like, I really want to do this burlesque gone wrong and really make it look like I'm doing something really sexy and everything's gonna come off, but then nothing goes to plan. So yeah, that was the plan from the very beginning, and we had to make it work.
Were you scared at all that they might misinterpret it? Because something that when we watched Chanel's, I don't think they got the X Factor reference of when, she does oh, let me just check.
Yeah,
My name. I
yeah,
don't think they got that reference, but gay Twitter definitely did. Were you kind of
yeah.
scared for your own one that, like, I know what I'm leaning into, will they?
No, I was pretty confident with mine because I think if you look at it's really straightforward. Like there's you don't really need to. There was no references really. It was just here's some stupid. That's what it really was. Like I'm being glamorous, but also that goofball at the same time.
I felt like you were kind of playing a bit of a character in that one. So speaking of characters,
Okay.
if you had stayed to do Snatch Game, can
Mhm.
you reveal who you would have done?
Yes, I can reveal that. It's a very controversial person. Uh, it's Imelda Marcos. She is the first lady of the Philippines. She was very controversial. She owned all these shoes. Um, but the way I was going to play her was the total opposite to what everyone knows her as. So I was going to be old, haggard, poor. No more shoes. She had no shoes left.
I'm obsessed. I'm so sad we didn't get to see that. Well, if you ever do All Stars or anything, we need to dig that one out of the season six grave.
She is packed away in a box, but she can come back if she needs to.
What did the viewers have to look forward to about your runways that we didn't get to see?
A lot of just like fashion. Like there's some looks in there that would have surprised a lot of people because it's not very sucky, I guess. But I like to surprise people. So just keep your eyes peeled on my socials, you'll see them.
And speaking of outfits, the challenge in episode two obviously saw you in, I believe it was the disco team. And
Yes.
how were you feeling about your chances? Because obviously we never got to see how it ended up, but how were you feeling
Yeah.
during that?
Besides in pain, uh, I think I would have been safe that episode. I mean, I'm not the best sewer, but I'm also not the worst. And also, like, I mean, Dita, who knows how to sew, she was there supporting myself and Relisa. So we were genuinely working as a team to make sure that it was a good, cohesive collection.
And you said that you think you would have been safe. Is there any challenge in the season that you think that was mine to win? There was no chance that anyone else had that over me.
Oh, I think I'm going to say Rusical just because that's coming from a musical theater background. That's what I would have won. Well, I hope to win. So yeah,
What would you say is the biggest thing you've taken away from the season?
I think leaving now. I think learning to be more present is what I take away from this competition. There's a lot of like, the whole competition is like a pressure pot, and you stress out about the littlest things. Things get to you, but just being present and enjoying it is what I'm gonna take away from it and just learn from that as well. Just want to enjoy this ride.
Are there any queens from any of the other seasons that you'd love to like collaborate with? Because we've seen a lot of people like Kitty Scott Claus and Ella Day have done tours together. I know they were on the same
Yeah.
season, but is there anyone maybe even from your season as well, actually, that you would love to maybe do some more collaborative work with now that once the show is completely over?
I mean, obviously Zahira, like uh we've got this platform now, so we should together do something to bring more visibility to us Asian queens. That's what I want to do. And maybe even Marina Summers. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, you've got DragCon to meet every single one of them in January.
Exactly. I will be lining up at all their booths going, let's do something. Come on.
And then lastly, what can we kind of expect from you now? Now, like outside of the show, where can people come and see you perform? Have you got anything lined up that you can shout about?
I mean, I've got a few things coming up. Just keep your eyes on my socials because I'm just everywhere and anywhere at the moment. So yeah, just keep an eye on my socials, and you'll see me somewhere.
Love that. Well, thank you so
Especially at DragCon.
much.
I'll see me at DragCon.
DragCon, there is DragCon, the
Yeah,
busiest day of my year.
I
Don't be
know.
like. No, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us, and we're really sorry to see you go. But I think for 2 episodes, you've got a pretty good amount under your belt of things you're able to
Yeah.
do. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.